Hi everybody, good evening. My name is Alan, and on behalf of the crew, I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Bridging Heaven and Earth. You know, just so much goes on every day, every week, every year in each of our lives, and yet there is always an experience that's so deep, that's so profound, that's so powerful, that we can experience a togetherness, a oneness, a surrender to love that will really bring us into a world of peace and just great beauty. And I just want you to know that tonight's show, we have videos and we have a guest tonight who are inspirations in the human experience of true love and the quest for love. And that's really what, you know, Bridging Heaven and Earth is about, and that's tonight what this show is an example of. We have with us in studio Byron Katie, who is the founder of The Work. The Work is a transformational tool. Its subtext is the great undoing. The undoing of what? The undoing of pain, the undoing of suffering, the undoing of a feeling of not being connected, of not feeling that you're part of the whole. And everyone knows when you don't feel part of the whole, you just don't feel good. And so Katie just goes around the world just bringing her inspiration and her experience to everyone who wants it. And she's just really a wonderful woman, and I think you're going to have just an extraordinary experience. And we also have tonight, as a lot of you have requested, we have again the musical videos of Kate Wolf. When we had him on last season on the Bill Cozzolino show, we just got so many calls about doing it again, so we've put some other videos together. And we also have a video that we got from the Rainbow Tribe that, again, these are about upliftment, they're about inspiration, and they're about all of us coming together, not seeing the separation, not seeing the duality, but in our hearts experience the truth, the surrender, the oneness. So please join me in a short meditation, then really just settle in. There's going to be a show tonight where the energy is just going to be full of love for all of us. So join me in a short meditation, please. Thank you. All right, I think we're going to start tonight's show with our first musical set. It's called Medicine Wheel. It was written and performed by Kate Wolf in the video, and there's going to be a video. The music was written and performed by Kate Wolf, and there's a video, a magnificent video that some fellow heard about Bridging Heaven and Earth just sent recently from Indiana, Randall Thorne. It's a very beautiful video. And, you know, we're just really excited to bring Kate Wolf to you again. So whenever you're ready, run the medicine wheel.
When the morning breaks and the sunlight warms my soul, in the east the eagle flies and the red tail proudly soars. I'm on my way to the place of the spirit one. Grandfather, hear me now, I am on fire. Let the Sundance guide my feet to your desire. Show me visions for my eyes, and words like gold that shimmer in the sun. When the sun goes down and it grows too dark to see, I look within to the shaman's mysteries. I'm on my way to die and live again. again. Grandmother Earth, I cry, give me rest. I take my place with a woman in the west. Show me the raven and the bear, the way of herbs and the black obsidian. Hi-ya, hi-ya, hi-ya. Turn toward the south like the water I will run. In innocence and trust, the moonchild song is sung, I'm on my way. To the place of the sacred plants, my emotions and my will at their command. Where the turtle's voice is heard upon the land, the wise coyote prowls, the rattlesnake will call me to the dance. Hi-ya, hi-ya, hi-ya. In the deepest night, the stars watch over me. Old woman of the north, my mind seeks clarity, I'm on my way. To the place of the northern winds, let the thunder and the lightning carry me. Lay my thoughts to rest and send me into sleep. The hawk and the buffalo, my dreams, white crystal magic medicine. Hi-ya, 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 hi-ya.
Hi, welcome. We're on the set with Byron, Katie. Hi, Katie.
Hi.
Nice to see you. So, before you started the work, you had an experience, right? And that's what led you to be doing what you're doing. Why don't you talk about that?
Well, actually, I was on the floor of a halfway house, and
I'm not going to ask you what you were doing there. This is a family show now.
opened my eyes one morning, and I saw, I could say for the first time, I could see, but it wasn't a visual thing, and it was a visual thing, but I could see without narration. I could see without thought or name or word, and it was a very sweet experience, and it continues. But inside of me, you know, I traveled the world asking 4 questions and inviting people to turn it around, you know, the concepts arising. And
it's not the 4 kashas. We were over this earlier, so for all you Jewish people listening.
So what happened was, whatever would arise, there was just no way for it to stick or have meaning.
When it arrives, what do you mean?
A thought, like my husband should care about me, my children should respect me more, or even the sky is blue. Mm-hmm. It was just internally, I could see it all as a story. So there was a lot of laughter. What I experienced mainly was laughter.
So in other words, you just were looking at everything you had seen before with different eyes, in a sense.
Yes, exactly so.
And so what led you to, like, ask the 4 questions? I mean, how did that come about? And then to start this, you know, process called the work?
Well, people would ask me, what is this thing?
What is this thing?
Yeah, what
are you experiencing?
Yes. My language was broken. I'm just now learning to speak fluid. It becomes more fluid with each day, probably. Mm-hmm. But it was broken. It was in the moment. It was not easily understood through the ear or the intellect, but it was perfectly understandable
To the heart.
to the heart. So people would call me and say, I heard about you, and what is it? And I'd say, I don't know, come live with me.
Right,
And this
come
would
hang around the energy.
Yes. And so this would surprise my husband. We had some interesting house guests.
So that led to like people saying, well, let's make this more available?
Yes, they just continued to ask, and I continued to say yes. And I could see that the mind was like a squirrel cage. I would ask a question, they couldn't get it. So I had people write. I asked them to begin to write, and they would. And there was the mind stopped on paper. Then we could investigate. So
why don't you just like give an example?
Okay. An example. I heard you say the word non-duality, the phrase non-duality. So we could say, this is a rose.
This is a rose.
Yes.
Okay.
And I would ask you, is it true? Can you really know that that's true? Whoever told you such a thing?
I bought it at Lucky's. They said it was a rose, and I believe it.
Yes, yes, and you didn't stop to investigate. And that's the thing, to know for yourself. You know, yeah, they told you it was a rose, and can you really know that that's true? To be still with that and find out for yourself.
Well, does the name matter even?
No.
So it doesn't matter if it's rose, it's just, it is what it is.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's like, is that like the fifth question? Or that's the fifth, the
No,
fourth plus experience?
Those were the first two.
Those are the first two.
Yeah,
Okay, what's
is
the
it true?
third?
Can you really know that it's true? And then the third one is, what do you get for holding the belief that that's a rose? How do you live? You know, how do you live? You perpetuate the separation, that this is a rose, that implies that that's a floor, and this is a man, this is a woman. So you perpetuate the separation in that way. You know, in the beginning was the Word, and actually the Word is everything, and is without form. I don't know where this just came from, but I'm experiencing it now. So what do you get when you hold that? You continue to perpetuate what's not, in my experience.
You're freezing the infinite. You're freezing movement, and it doesn't serve.
Yeah, it's served for a while, and some of us are through with it now. You know, we're going in and asking for ourselves. So, you know, that's not ever going to be a rose for me. I can't make that happen. I can't make that happen. It's not.
See, but I mean,
investigated.
can't you have that experience and still say, I'd prefer what people call roses on the set than I would prefer pansies on the set, even though they cost a little more for
Well, no, I prefer what is. I'm a lover of what is.
I know, but if you went into a store and you, or, you know, I mean, this is a beautiful, I mean, you'll say somebody gave it to you.
Only because it's true.
Right, no, I understand.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, do you pick anything in your day? Do you have a preference? If somebody said to you, what do you want for dinner? Would you say whatever you want?
I would speak it, but there would be no attachment to it. Like, I could give you a whole list of things.
So you could have a preference, but it would only go this deep.
Yes.
In essence.
Yes. Yes.
So, and
if you handed me something, that would be my preference. What is my preference.
So, in other words, there's no other preference in far as you are than that. So whatever, like, you don't have a favorite ice cream in essence.
No. No. Just the one you would hand me.
Are there things you like rather than don't like?
It
In that sense of preference.
I have to tell you, it appears like I do, and it's not my experience.
It's not your experience.
It's not my experience. So the fourth question for this would be, who would you be without your story? Yeah, who would you be without the story that this is a rose?
So ultimately, people, when they ask those four questions, have an experience of something from what they tell you.
Yes.
And how would you describe that experience?
And delightful.
And does it continue in the next series of thoughts? I mean, does that change the momentum of thinking as a rose, and then you go on that this is a statue or this is a... So would that same procedure, that same process proceed in someone's life so they have more and more delight and less and less concepts?
Yes, yes. Like one of your viewers possibly just went inside to know for themselves about the rose. Their whole world could start just I'm nodding, just untying the, the undoing, the great undoing. But once it starts to unravel, it continues with this, because it has the truth is not a respecter of
definition.
Innocence. Yes.
Right. So when I described a little of undoing, how would you describe a little of undoing?
Freedom.
And what's undone?
A story.
The illusion.
Yes, the illusion. And the illusion that we have cherished and held sacred for so many, in the story for all of time.
So do you see in your work that more, or work play, I use play work or something like that people are really beginning to understand that and have that experience?
That's what they report to me, and I get to see it. What is really sweet is to go back a year later or 2 years later and to see how it's still progressing, how it appears to be unending.
You don't ask yourself those 4 questions, do you?
No, it's like an automatic. And that's another lovely thing. When people do this work for a while, it becomes automatic for them also.
So the 4th question took you an experience that encompasses all the questions.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, the 4th question was before the 3rd one. There's peace, attachment to the story, no peace. So actually, the 4th question is bridged in between, but it's backward. I came in reverse. I didn't come in forward.
Yeah.
It was though I didn't die, I was born. And
you were born again before you died.
Exactly so. And also everything I was attached to turned out not to be true. So that's the reversal.
So in that, you have children, you have 3 children,
yes.
you have a husband.
Yes.
And so in a human body, we can still do those things, but we're experiencing them differently,
yes.
would you say?
Yes.
And how would you describe how you experience them differently?
Well,
Do you remember before? Before you woke up on the floor?
Well, people have filled that in for me.
You don't remember?
And it's
personally?
It's not real for me. It's not. It's a story. Your story or my story. One's not more personal than the other.
Do you think there's any before you had that experience, you lived the human life, right?
Yes. Yes, very much so.
Right.
Yeah.
And you had suffering in it.
Absolutely.
Right. And do you think there's anywhere in your being, you don't buy let's say you don't experience mental pictures, is there somewhere in you that pain exists? Or that you could remember it? You remember suffering back when you fell off your bike, or when this person didn't love you and you loved them, or whatever in your life did that?
And it's not real for me. It's like it would be what I call a story.
It's like somebody else's movie.
Yeah.
Like you had a separate life before this floor experience.
Yeah, it's as though there's like an old shadow, an old echo, and it's been filled in and it's familiar. It's just not mine.
So you would look
personal.
at that story like you'd look at somebody else's story.
Exactly so. Exactly so.
So, when you see other people who haven't had that experience or haven't fully had that experience and think they're suffering, how do you respond to that? Ask the questions?
Well,
how you know why?
I see it as confusion, and I experience confusion as the only suffering on this planet. And anyone suffering, when they can know the truth of it, what I call the truth of it, or the reality of it, it's over.
And confusion is? You say confusion?
Confusion is wanting 2 things at once.
And one thing is not what's there.
Well, I'm a lover of realities, so I can also say this is a rose. We want to call it a rose here on this planet, I'm for it. That's it.
Yeah, we can agree to that, but how?
Exactly. Right. It's not going to make it one.
No, I understand.
But so that I can be with you, I'm going to say a beautiful rose.
And I'll say thank you. No.
We say what we say.
Exactly. So do you find like a momentum picking up?
It's really nice music.
Yeah, it is nice music.
Yes.
I think that at this point probably they've heard this music 66 times. I think they'd rather hear you talk. So I'm going to step in and try to get you to say something. So when you go around the world, do you find like a momentum picking up for people coming to this and experiencing it sooner?
Yes.
So there seems to be like a pickup of energy for
Yes,
that.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's natural for us to be without the story rather than to be with it. To be with it is the suffering. I was going to say about wanting two things at once. You know, we want it to be a rose, and it's not a rose. So if we think it should be, you know, a different kind of flower, then that's where the pain begins. It's a wanting, a desire. But it's actually not, in my experience. It's wanting something when the reality already exists. So
Something already exists.
Yes.
Something's there.
Yes. So that's confusion, wanting two things at once. We think we want a pansy, but actually the rose is what is here. So until we know we're a lover of reality and what we want is what is, we're confused, wanting two things at once.
So, but in essence, what we're saying about that is that it doesn't matter if we call it a rose. I mean, if everyone agrees in this room to call it a pansy, then it becomes a pansy.
Yes.
And that's the nature of how we go through, you know, different human experience and different human times, that we agree on different things.
Yes.
So at some point, you don't need to agree because there just is. And everybody's living with the reality of
What is?
what is.
Yeah, it's a delightful place to live. Yeah, you always get your way. There's no question about what you want. You know, what I say is, it's very clear what I want. I want to sit here. It's very clear what I should do. I should sit here. It's very clear about what the highest order of company is for me. Here you are. Mm-hmm. So it's always the thing, so I'm not ever confused. I don't argue with what I want. It's obvious. So it's like over.
Okay, let me ask you a quick question. We're going to have to musical break, but like, we probably will see a picture of your book in which you had long curly hair, mm-hmm. and I had long curly hair. People watch your show last week.
We used to have long curly hair.
Right. Okay, so and you said somebody said to you, you need a haircut.
Yeah, someone said you need to cut your hair.
Would you trust everybody?
Yes.
Everyone.
Yes. I do. It's not would I.
God bless you.
Well, I mean, where's the harm?
Would you say there are people out there who would wish other people harm for whatever?
No.
No, you don't think so?
No, not ever. It's not a possibility. No.
So, would you say that in some way, in the human experience, in the human condition, people in some way hurt themselves and hurt other people?
Yes.
In their confusion?
Yes, without investigation, pain. Investigate, freedom.
I understand, but in the moment of that, in the moment, people hurt themselves and hurt others. Is that so?
Well,
they don't have to.
Yeah, that's their experience. That's their legitimate experience.
So there could be someone out there who wouldn't wish you as well as they might.
Well,
because of what you stand for goes against their idea of what a rose is, what a religion is.
What I would say is if they stop to investigate, they may come to see another truth.
Absolutely, but what if they don't?
Then that's as it should be.
That's so, but would you listen to them? Would you do as they say?
If it, I don't know about causing harm. I don't know about that. What I say about it is, if it were within me to experience that as harm, I would stop for my sake.
Mm-hmm. You would.
Not for the other's sake. There's nothing outside of me.
No,
they are me. So it would be to stop when I know to stop. Mm-hmm. And if we all did that, it's my experience is paradise.
Mm-hmm. No. All right, so I guess we'll do the second song. Okay, it's Bless the People. Now, this is a song by the Rainbow People. If people who are in the audience are unfamiliar with the Rainbow People, I guess for the last 25 or so years, there's a gathering. I think it's once a year in the Western United States, although I think it's maybe it's all over the country, but the ones I've seen are in the Western United States. And hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people gather in the name of love, in the name of freedom, in the name of singing, in the name of joy. And they sent us this tape, and we thought it was a beautiful example of, you know, what we'd like to all experience, and so we want to share this with you. So whenever we're ready, bless the people.
Bless the people, bless the people, bless the people, bless the people,
Hi, we're back on the set with Katie. They'll put the music on that you like to get pretty soon. So, when you had this experience, and as you have it now, I mean, would you say, well, you wouldn't define it, it just feels, but you did define it as delightful. And when I talk about it as like when a human being has that experience of the oneness, it feels like love.
Yes.
So you would almost describe it, you did just describe it the same way.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes. Yes. Nothing, no interference with that. It's who and what we are.
So it's like a direct arrow. It just is. I mean, you know, it's like funny because here we are having an experience of something and trying to talk about that which, you know, can't be talked about. That's what all the books are about, and you go around and talk about it every day, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the important thing ultimately is that people have the experience you're having. You would like people to have that experience.
That's my only caring, you know, that's it. You know, we were talking earlier, I would go anywhere and I would do anything to serve a person that wanted to receive such a thing, and that's what the questions do. They assist the person in receiving it from themselves, not from me.
So in traditional, like, using terminologies, because we're talking spiritual movements or movements into oneness or movements, there was always some form of quiet meditation. Does the work encompass that at all, or it's just four kashas and then the experience?
Well, it does. Each question is a meditation. You know, I can't say, it's a rose, is it true? No, that's intellect. So it's a rose. Can I really know that that's true? Is it true? To go in. So each question takes one inside, and you find the answer there. What I say is the mind asks the question and just waits, and the heart answers. And in the space of the receivership of that, a truth is met, and then grace comes the rest of the way to the center. So it's, you meet it halfway and it joins, and there's a oneness.
There's an experience.
Yes, and the mind and the heart come to know that they're the same, that they were never separate.
There's never
that
any
even mind and
separation.
heart, no.
Yeah, I mean, it's another way we separate, like we separate flowers and give them names and believe it.
Yeah, so when the mind can grasp
how do
that.
people feel? You might not feel that way because of the experience you have, but have people come to you and said that what you do is against my religion? I mean, you're saying that this...
No, they don't really, because 4 questions are very benign, and they're just questions, and I never suggest that people even answer them.
That they even answer
They're just questions. So it meets every religion. So I really hear the extreme opposite. Is they'll say, oh, this is Mormonism, oh, this is Buddhism, oh, this is Christianity, and it works for atheists too. It doesn't, again, the truth doesn't have a
Would you
prejudice.
say people would maintain their religions after the experience?
They become much stronger in it.
Stronger in their religion?
Yes.
So would you say that religion has an opposite? Some religion has a tendency to have an opposite?
No, I'd say the way we hear religions
How about the way
have
we
an opposite
practice
effect.
religion?
Yes, the way we practice it is like a doing rather than an experience.
So you're saying that if true religion is a path to love, a path to freedom, and then when you get to that point, there's no other religion that's harmful to you? Or
Exactly so. Every religion, if it were heard from a mind, I'd say a sane mind, would be, that one would know the power of religion, that it's not a bad thing. In fact, I run into so many religions all over the world. They're all accurate. It's the way we hear them that does the harm.
You would say they're accurate?
Yes, absolutely.
So if they're accurate and there's an opposing religion that they find inaccurate or not the path to the experience of love, how does that fit into an accurate assessment?
Well, I hear them as all the same. They pretty much say, love your neighbor.
Oh, you see, in other words, you're hearing like the essence of the religion, not how maybe it's practiced or manifest.
Well, the practice I don't know. That would be for each individual to say. But the words are so very sweet if we could hear them clearly. But we take offense at it. We take offense without really investigating what do those words mean for me, within us.
Well, I might be mistaken, but it seems like there are some religions who, for one reason or another, proclaim holy wars on other peoples and religions. Now, that's in the name of religion. There have been holy wars throughout history between people who love Jesus, supposedly.
Yeah.
Now, there's some misinterpretation going on.
Yes, so it's misinterpretation. Yeah, yeah. But what I say is religion, some of the religion that people have brought to me, it speaks in the moment, not in time and space. So they say, love thy neighbor as thyself. And what I say is I always did. I hated me, I hated you.
You were equal opportunity haters.
So now I love me, I love you. So I only project myself. And then the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not kill, because I don't like me when I do that. It's not about the other. I don't like me when I do that. And the repercussions, I really don't like me when I do that. Thou shalt not steal, because I don't like me when I do that. But it's about
something
self.
Feels better.
Yeah, but it doesn't say thou shalt not kill or you're going to hell. Later on up the line, it's like right now, if I harm you, I'm harming myself. To stick a knife in you is my own heart.
If you experience it that way, that I'm not, for whatever reason, you got some vendetta against hosts.
Well, I've not met one of those people yet, and I work with thousands and thousands of people. And when people go and investigate, I just hear the repetition of that I knew not to do it, and I did it.
And what causes somebody to do something which they know not to do?
They don't listen, and of course where I come from, to themselves.
Are they in touch with that which can hear themselves?
Yes, it's called a feeling.
And you think everyone, with drugs and alcohol and other things that people use to cover feelings, would you say people are in tune with feelings?
I would say that they have the feelings, whether they're in tune with them or not, but I'd say everyone is. Everyone feels a feeling. That's why they...
So everyone has ears to hear, in essence.
Yeah. I say a feeling is a gift that says, my thinking's off in the moment. That's all a feeling is about. So we try to shut it down with alcohol and drugs and many things. And actually, with the work, we know what to do with it now. We don't have to go outside of us to alter the feeling. We do the work, and it moves into a natural place, a balanced place.
Okay, I think what we'll do now is do the third musical set. Let me just tell you a little bit about Kate Wolf. When I introduced at the opening, I didn't tell you because people who've seen it before had recommended and requested that we do it again. But what we wanted to do at the time, Kate was just an extraordinary singer-songwriter who was just really coming into her own, and then got cancer in 1986 and died. And her family, her children, and her husband made these tapes that I don't think are available anywhere else to us. And we did a segment on Kate Wolf, and a lot of people said, let's do it again. So Kate is just kick back and listen to this. This is really fantastic. This is my favorite song, Give Yourself to Love. The music was, music and lyrics were by Kate. So whenever you're ready, give yourself to love.
Here's one you can sing with us. Give yourself to love if love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to the tears and laughter and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Kind friends all gather round. There's something I would say, but what brings us together here has blessed us all today. Love has circle that holds us all inside. Strangers are as family, loneliness can't hide. You must give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love, give yourself to love. Love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. Planted like the seed, and love can't give you everything, but it gives you what you need. And love comes when you are ready, love comes when you're afraid. Will be your greatest teacher, the best friend you have made. So give yourself to love, if love is what you're after, and open up your hearts to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love, give yourself to love. You must give yourself to love, if love is what you're after. Open up your hearts to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love, give yourself to love.
Yeah, that was Kate. Yeah, she's fantastic. So I hope you really liked it. So we're back with Katie. So if the word discernment was, if like someone like me would say the word discernment to you, what would that, what would that trigger in you? Is it a language?
Well, I would say just hear the heart. Just hear the heart. Hear what you know. Hear what you know. And people don't want to hear what they know. They think it's going to cost them something. But if they hear what they know and they honor it, it will give them everything that they ever thought, they ever desired. Only the desire stops, and just when you don't need anything, it floods in. It's like people call it a letting go, but it's, for me, it's just a following the heart, the thing that I know.
Mm-hmm. Now, and you say what the work does is put people in touch with the harmony of the heart, the true heart feeling.
Yes, yeah.
And from there, people can start to live from that place of heart.
Yes, it's very exciting. I say I'm married to the heart, and now I marry my husband. Yeah, the heart. You know, it's so
But you
sweet.
had your children through your husband.
Yeah.
Okay, just
Yeah.
no, so.
Yeah. Well, not actually. You know,
understand.
when I had the experience, they said, "These are your 3 children." And I said, "Good. This is your husband. Good. Good. It could have been anyone."
And how did they respond to this, this anonymity they had all of a sudden become part of?
Well, it was very difficult for all of them. It was very difficult. And then someone told my children that I was a walk-in, and we found out what that was, and that really helped them. It gave them a thing. And
do you respond to it? Doesn't matter what you...
No.
It all that matters is what you're experiencing.
No.
So the definition of...
I'm a woman who knows the difference between pain and no pain. That's it. Yeah, I'm very simple. Yeah, I became aware one day.
And was it actually just one day? I mean, were you like a spiritual seeker or anything like that? Or just,
No.
did you stumble onto the floor?
No, I was a seeker of how to end the pain.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was devoted to that. And I didn't have a religion. And I didn't have a teacher. And that
You just knew the suffering was not...
I knew that.
Not appropriate in
Yes.
the human body or out of the human
I was clear.
It was not going to continue for you for much longer. Was that, I mean, that was like your desireless desire, that was the prayer in your heart?
Yes, to end it.
Either end it or give me some other thing.
No, not or give me, just
end it.
End it. I didn't know there was an option. I thought you had to die to have an option. I thought you had to die to end suffering. And that's what I do in the world now. I say, you know, that's not my experience. I didn't have to die to end suffering. I just had to get a little sanity going.
So, and what you would say now is that people don't have to reach that point where they don't want to live.
Yeah.
Because you did that, and that's enough.
Yes, exactly
enough,
so.
Right?
Yes, and that's the privilege that I experience as being with these people all over the world, and watching the work flow, and these little books that we send out from the Center of the Work. We don't ever charge for them. There's not ever a charge for this work, but these little books go all over the world, and I spent a lot of time in the penal systems, in the prisons and school systems, etc.
Yeah, actually, we were saying a little earlier that, well, actually, if you're watching the show in Santa Barbara when we're taping it tonight, which is October 9th, 1998, that's what it says in the newspapers. Katie is doing workshops. We're filming in Santa Barbara, but Katie's doing workshops over the weekend, which is the October 10th and 11th in LA. And if anybody wants information, either call me tonight when you're watching the show or early tomorrow, and I'll give you all the information about where you can go to the workshops. But the way I came to that is that Katie and I were talking during the break, and we were saying that Katie asked these 4 questions for 2 days, 8 to 5. I said, my God.
That's it.
God bless her.
Yeah, what he said was God bless her.
Wow. I mean, that it seems like a something. It seems really like something to do that.
Each moment new.
Uh-huh.
Each moment new. Someone says, my husband should not be sick. And I say, sweetheart, is it true? Is it really true? Is he sick? What's the reality of it? And they say, well, yes, he's got cancer. And I said, well, then is it true he shouldn't be ill?
Right.
Well, the truth is, he is.
Right.
And what do you get for holding the belief that he should be well when he's not? Look at all the fear, terror, and the separation from husband when we want to be close. So it's the opposite effect. And who would we be without the story? Should not be sick. And it's just emerging with the ones we love, without the separation.
So, I mean, do you do like one-on-one things, or do you talk first and then have people come in? And
No, I just ask 4 questions. I don't do any talking around it. The forum is, I'll be sitting in a chair like this, and to be an audience, and I say, who would like to do the work? And that's how we start.
and then someone
raises their
gets
hand,
up and...
then they come to the other chair, and we do the surgery. We do the exorcism, the surgery, and I've been told, very profound.
And so thousands and thousands of people are responding to this as a way for them to...
Yes, they are. Yeah, it's the real deal. It's the real thing. We have to know it for sure. And we know when we're being fooled and when we're not. And so we're just doing the real thing. It's a gift.
And basically it just went step by step by step and now it's just, there's like the work centers almost all over the world, or representatives all over the world.
Yes. Yeah.
And it feels, every day feels new and good and delightful.
Yes, 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 yes.
Did I ask 3 or 4? Were you counting? I thought I asked 3, you answered 4, so I want to know what the next question is. Whether it's a yes to it.
Was a yes. No, when someone calls, we would all be there. And so people call the center and we're there. We have books and tapes and people that work with people over the phone, and we have a website, and people tell me they like it a lot.
It's a beautiful website.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful website.
Good. I like that you like it.
So, I mean, you just take it a day at a time. Just, you're here tonight, and what happens after this? Would you say, the way I would look at it is you have an intention to do the seminar over the weekend, but there's how would you look at it?
That's how it appears, that's how it sounds, that's how I would talk. And I just don't have anything that would take me from this moment now with you. Understand. And so it's just like that. It's just
so you're going moment to moment to moment.
Absolutely. It's like frame by frame by frame, wordless, soundless.
So, but somebody else prints up flyers and has an intention, in essence, for you. Is that what you look at it that way?
And I can edit them. I can be with them. I can talk about a future. The whole thing. As close as I could say is I'm not doing it.
So, I mean, it just feels like, just to use words like love or grace is flowing through you, and you're just moving through that.
Yes.
And
that's what I see through you. It's the same. You know, I'm just looking in the mirror at myself, and that's the selfishness of it, and the greed of it is I'm always in the presence of myself.
And since you love yourself, it's a nice experience.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah.
And even in your case, in a sense, better, because you don't remember what it felt like to not. And it is not necessary in the work that you feel that way. Because, you know, it's interesting, because in some ways I always thought what made Krishnamurti not as effective a teacher as I thought he could be with his experience is I didn't think he had the experience of knowing what it was to almost be a human being and suffer the pain and suffer the...
Yeah. Well, I am very much aware that if you hurt, I hurt. But it's not a physical thing from here that hurts. You are my hurting. And your freedom is my freedom.
A lot of people have said no.
Yeah. You know, they could be right.
No, I understand. I've taken that as a possibility.
Yeah, you hear well, you're a listener, I see. But no, people's freedom, you know, when one is free, that's that connection that we feel, so.
So you just, moment to moment, just want to be in delight and delightful.
Yeah, moment by moment, I am. I just don't argue with reality. I don't argue with what is. I watch, you know, like a semi-truck coming at the car, and we're going a very fast speed, and there's nothing but laughter that comes out. It's just, I'm a lover of what is. And the steering wheel will move. Or not. But either way, it's just none of it real. And if someone says they are uncomfortable, then I just sit down and say, you know, if you'd like to, let's take a look.
Let's do the work.
Yeah, let's do the work.
Okay, well, you know, I guess, again, we've run out of time, and I guess we could talk for a lot of minutes, a lot of breaths, a lot of seconds, but it's been an extraordinary experience for me, and, you know, maybe Katie can come back sometime, we could talk some more. So I'd like to thank everybody again. Good night. God bless you. And come again next week. We have, the next show is Carlos Castaneda's wife, Margaret Castaneda. Good night. God bless you.